Wait. Wait.
Okay, first of all, our alumni game before we played 7-on-7, got a chance to watch a little bit of that. I think it was real successful. I think the guys had a good time. Really appreciate them being a part of that. As far as the game goes, probably the positive was, I think all four quarterbacks made some explosive plays. I thought that was good. I had a couple touchdowns to go with it, but overall, that was practice 15. I feel really good about what we accomplished during that time. We went in this game with a plan for the quarterbacks to play like it was, and like I said, all of them did some good things. What we'll do next week is we'll be able to assess the whole 15 days of practice as a whole, and we'll look at it from there. And like I said, hopefully we'll get some kind of order with our quarterbacks, after spring. But overall, I thought defense had a very good spring. I thought the offense too. We talked about trying to get some depth and get some of those younger guys to step up, and really feel like we accomplished those goals. Questions?
First half looked like it was pretty crisp execution.
Yeah, it was. I don't think, as far as protecting the football and all that, it got a little sloppy in the second half, and we let a lot of people play. But, overall, I thought there was some good things really on both sides of the football.
How much has Bo improved from day 1 to day 15?
He's improved a lot, but that's to be expected. He's a true freshman and still should be in high school, and the college game's different, and of course the speed's different, and our defense is different. So, it's been good for him, to get used to everything that goes with it.
Do you think Joey looked a whole lot more confident out there than what we saw kind of from him last season?
Oh yeah, and like I told you, I guess last week he's a different quarterback than he was at this time last year. He does have more confidence. He really has been focused and really desperate to win the job, and so he's had a very good spring. And like I said today, he made some explosive plays, and when you let him go live, that it's a little bit different too.
What we saw from Hill and Williams today, have you been seeing that all spring, and how much has that helped those two quarterbacks?
Yeah, Williams, it was really good to see him make some plays. And then Hill is a guy that, man, we had high expectations for when we recruited him, and so that was real good to see him make some plays in front of the crowd. He has had a very solid spring. He's a guy that has a chance to make big plays. It was a great catch he made over his shoulder on that first one, and then of course we threw the little tunnel to the field on the last one. You see he has a little bit of acceleration, and he's got a chance to be a really good player for us, we feel like.
What's it give an offense to have a guy that you can throw it up to in traffic like Sam?
Yeah, well, that's especially this league, you have to, because you're going to get some one-on-one opportunities. A lot of times they're going to roll an extra safety down, and you got to win. You got to have somebody that can win, on the outside, and so it was good to see Seth make some of those plays.
Gus, you said you're going to evaluate quarterbacks next week, but
yeah.
The fact that Joey and Bo were both with the first-team guys in the Orange team, that says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was just, Coach Dillingham every day, he has a order. They're competing every day, and there's been different orders every day. It just happened to be that coming into this game. And but like I said, we got a lot of good information from 15 practices now, 3 scrimmages. So it was really good, and we'll assess everything. We'll have a good week this coming up week to assess all positions and really step back and kind of get a good plan about offensively who we're going to be next year.
We saw Chandler get up slow and leave in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Any update on that?
Yeah, I don't have an update. I think obviously it was a knee injury. I don't have an update, so hopefully that'll be okay.
What we saw from Joyner today, carrying the ball a little bit, catching the ball a little bit, is he going to be that guy in the
Yeah, he's versatile. We've talked about that. you know, he's like a receiver, but also when you give him the ball, you see he has acceleration. He's got burst. He's a really big guy too. So he's a guy that we feel like we can move around next year and try to get some matchups that we like. But I really like his versatility. Been very impressed with his toughness. I mean, he's really had a good physical spring, and the fact that he's kind of playing two positions, being young, I think that says a lot about him too. So it was good to see him. He protected the football when he carried it.
How does DJ, fit into things, especially with the way he ran today?
Yeah, DJ's had a very good spring, and of course, that one run he made had the wow factor. Broke a couple good tackles against good tacklers and had some acceleration and almost sputtered out of there. So it was he's a really good runner, and he showed a lot of toughness for a true freshman, and it was good to see him out there make plays today.
Gus, on the quarterbacks, would you prefer to have at least two still in the run for that first-team job going into the summer and going into the
we'll see. We'll see where that's at. I mean, I think the positive is I think we've got some good options. I mean, I think we got quite a few of them that we feel like can move the offense, and they're all a little bit different too, and I think that's always good too. But not ready to say right now anything other than we got good information, and next week we'll assess everything to kind of see where we're at. And like I told you, we want some kind of order after spring, and I think that we'll be able to get to that point.
Were you pleased with the way Bo moved around? I mean, he had a few runs, but also kind of moving around in the pocket.
I think so. In our league, I mean, it's not 7-on-7. I mean, you drop back, you're going to have to create, you're going to have to extend plays, and he's done a solid job of that. And really, the other three have too. They all can run. I mean, all four of those guys can run. So I think that's important too, because, like I said, in our league, things break down, and you got to extend plays, and really, when you extend plays, you got to protect the football, and so that was part of it too.
Just feel like the offense is flowing at a better pace of what you want compared to what it was last season? Because it didn't seem like you had any herky-jerky moments out there. A lot of
last year was a little bit different because Stidham, didn't get to participate, and so it was a little bit different. We had a young offensive line. This year our offensive line, I think, is going to be one of our strengths on offense, and it allows you to do some more things. It's really good for young quarterbacks, and but we were pretty simple out there today, but that was by design, and that was not only because everybody watches games, but really it was probably more because our young quarterbacks, we wanted to make sure that they were comfortable, they could play fast, they didn't have to think, and they could just show what they could do. So that was kind of part of the plan too.
From the first scrimmage to the second to the third, anything sort of stand out to you?
I think our younger guys are more comfortable. I mean, they should be, but they're just more comfortable with our base offense, and that's probably the biggest thing, because that first scrimmage, I mean, we let our quarterbacks go live and all that, but there was some jitterness, there was some mistakes, some mental mistakes, and communication mistakes, and each practice has gotten better and better, and I really don't remember a whole lot of communication mistakes today, which is always big. There was a couple reads that weren't good, but I think our communication was solid.
I know we keep talking about the offense, but Derek Brown was as active as ever, even in a simple scrimmage like this. How important is he for this entire team?
Yeah, he's an impact player, and of course, Marlon Davis, impact player. Those guys got a lot of experience, a lot of big game experience, and I think those are some of the best players in our league.
He's been doing it some this spring, but how good was it to get Eli out there and get a touchdown catch and being back?
Yeah, really good to get Eli out there. Of course, Eli is a guy that we missed him sorely last year. I mean, he's an NFL type player, and really worked hard on the intermediate routes and the deep routes, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he can really do some things. So very excited to have him back, and of course, Will Hastings too. He got cleared, I guess, today. I mean, obviously we didn't play him, but that's good for the summer and everything that goes with that.
We heard Owen Papo's name a lot today. Just what are your thoughts on how he's progressed this spring, and really that whole group of linemen?
Yeah, he's came on, and he doesn't act like a freshman. The moment's not too big for him. He can really run. He's got really good instincts, and I think he had a really good spring, especially for a freshman.
Do you want to be able to sit down your quarterbacks and go, you're 1, 2, 3, 4?
I'm not ready to even say that, but I do want some kind of order, some kind of plan going into summer. I mean, because it's not real to have 4 quarterbacks and rotate equally. You just can't get to that point. But like I said, we're still committed to having some type of order so we can get into the summer and they can start working with specific guys and all that.
with the linebackers, how happy have you been with the progress, especially because y'all have lost a lot of production from last year?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like guys have stepped in and they really hadn't missed a beat. I mean, I think overall they've had a very good spring. I think KJ Britt's leading that group, really taking over for Deshaun Davis, and you know, it's his moment. He's been waiting on this moment, and he is some kind of physical, and you know, he's really leading that group.
When you see Joey out there throwing the ball around like he did today, are you kind of proud of how far he's come in a year?
Yeah. Of course, when we recruited him, we really felt like he was talented. You know, last year, you know, of course, he was a true freshman. His head was spinning, and we asked a lot of him because Stidham wasn't there, so he got a lot of reps. And you know, he was with our twos too. He didn't get a chance to show what he could do with the ones, but you know, he's got a really live arm. You know, and he's real desperate to win the job, like I said earlier. And I said, when you let him go live, you know, there's a big difference.
40,000 here today. What is that?
No, that's very appreciative of the Auburn fans, and that's really big, especially, you know, back-to-back weekends with Final Four and regional finals and all that. So says a lot. I mean, our players really appreciate that. Our coaches do too. And the weather was good, and you know, overall, I think it was a very successful day.
Gus, this offseason was sort of the first with the transfer portal for college football. Just what's your opinion on that process, and have coaches had to make any kind of adjustments because of it?
I think all coaches have to make adjustments. It's a new day in college football, and you know, so I think you know, this first year was a learning experience probably for all the coaches around the country, and you know, it's probably not going away. And so yeah, you've got to make plans.
Anything else?
All right, thank you all.